This is Chapter 2, Elementary Programming, Programming Exercise 3, Convert Feet into Meters. Now, we did a similar exercise back in Chapter 1. So we're going to run through this exercise pretty quickly, since it's a pretty simple exercise that we already done. All right. So we're going to write a program that reads a number in feet and convert it to meters and display the result. Now, we should know that 1 foot is equals to 0.3048 meters. And that's going to be very important because we're going to be using that later. So what we're going to do is we're going to display a string called enter value for feet, and it's going to be 16.5. And we're going to take 16.5 and we're going to convert that to meters. So 16.5 feet is 5.325 meters. All right. So we're going to do that all in 4 simple steps, and we're going to just have it all right here, right? We're going to just follow from here because it's pretty simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to display the string enter a value for feet on our program right here. System.out print enter the value in feet. Okay. So when we run that, we're gonna get enter the value in feet. Now, our next thing or next step that we have to do is to input the value and store it into a variable. So that value is going to be 16.5. Now, how we're going to do that? Well, we got to do 2 things first. We're going to create a variable of type scanner called input, and with this is going to be able to grab the values from the system input or from the console, and then we're going to display into a data type that we're going to call feet. All right. Now do that. Feet now equals input.next double. So let's get a visual to see how that works. So what's going on here is first, Java creates this variable called input, this double data type variable called feet, and then it displays the string right here, enter the value in feet. Now, it's not going to terminate the program because it is expecting, now it is expecting us to enter a value right here. And it's expecting that because we create a variable called input that's of scanner data type, and we say .next double. This .next double method is expecting a value on the console. So when we enter a value on the console, let's say 16.5, right? It's going to grab the 16.5 and it's going to store it into this variable called feet. So when we click enter, all of that happens is stored into feet, and then that's it. There's nothing else after that, so it ends the program. So now that we got all of that done, we want to calculate the meter. Meter is calculated by 16.5 times, it's not actually 0.35, I made a mistake right here, is 0.3048. Yeah. So we're going to do all of that, right? Time to calculate. But first, let's create a variable called meter first. So that way I could store the calculation inside this variable. Now I'll say feet times times 0.3048. So it'll multiply whatever input I give it, 16.5 for example, multiply by 0.3048, calculate that and store it into here. All right. So now that the calculation is done, time to display the meter. All right. We'll say system.out.print. We'll use feet plus feet is meter plus meter. Okay. All right. So let's get a final visual on what is going on. So enter the value in feet. That is this right here. It's asking users to enter the value, and that's it. Nothing else appears after that. Not even this, right? It'll try. This is a printout statement, and it is not printing it because it is expecting a value first. And the value we're going to enter is 16.5. We're going to click enter. Second we click enter, it takes that 16.5 and store it into this variable right here called feet. And the next step that the program wants to do is to calculate for meter. So it takes that feet, multiply it by 0.3048, get that value, that answer, and store into meter. And then it finally display all of this. So it says feet, which is 16.5, feet is, meter, which is the value right here that we created, that we calculated, 5.0292 meter, right? Meter, that's the string right here. That's what we see displayed all right here. And let me just do a quick comparison, 5.0325. All right, so it's not exactly 5.03, all right? It depends on right here, our exact value. If this isn't exactly correct, then that will affect the end result. So always, those are one of those little logical errors that the user could make if they enter the wrong number, and the result will be wrong or not exactly to point or how what you were expecting it to be. All right, so that's one thing you gotta check for yourself. And that will be it for this exercise.